What's going on, everybody? So I am back today to talk about a new film that I watched recently from a director who I just realized now that I have seen every single one of his films, and that director is Jeff Baena. And the film I'm going to be talking about today is Spin Me Round. Spin Me Round is directed by Jeff Baena. When the manager of an Italian restaurant chain, played by Alison Brie, wins the opportunity to attend the franchise's educational immersion program in Italy, what she thought would be a romantic getaway devolves into chaos and catastrophe. So this film is directed by Jeff Baena, who has made several movies in his career now, and I would say he's relatively inconsistent. I feel like he's made some really great movies that I've liked, like Horse Girl, and this movie was really entertaining. And then he's made some real crap, like The Little Hours and Life After Beth, which were like insufferable to get through. And then he made one middle of the road movie, Joshi. And you know, when I went into this film, I did not know what I was gonna expect. With Jeff Baena, you never know where his movies are gonna go, what kind of things that he's gonna try to do. And I really enjoyed this movie. I think people are being excessively hard on it for absolutely no reason. And I'll get into it a little bit more into the review. So the movie opens with Alison Brie, who's our lead character, who's the manager at this Olive Garden-esque Italian restaurant, and her district manager, played by Lil Ray Howery, comes in and says, hey, you've won this all-expenses-paid trip to Italy, you're going to get to stay in this villa, and you're going to go over there and learn all about Italian food, and you're going to get to travel. And she's really to herself, and she doesn't seem to be someone who's traveled a lot. She said she's never gone out of the country, and so she gets over there, and she gets introduced to all the other managers that she's with. One's played by Molly Shannon, who immediately her bags got lost by the airline, and she's already asking Alison Brie if she could borrow clothes. Her character is super eccentric. I love Molly Shannon. Tim Heidecker, who's one of my personal heroes, is in this movie. He is absolutely hilarious. He's playing this overblown caricature of this guy who was on like a Chopped-esque TV show, who's just a manager at one of these Italian restaurants, and he thinks he's like this hot shot. You have Zach Woods, who plays this young guy who is just fascinated with the business, and he's really like over the top and caring about every little thing that happens in this getaway. Then you have Aiden Miari and Debbie Ryan, who play these two young girls who are there with them as well, who are managers, and they all get together and they show up at this villa, and they think they're staying in this absolutely huge, luxurious Italian villa, and they're literally staying at this dumpy motel that is behind it, and they're forced to go to these conferences. They're not allowed to go out on their own, and so they're kind of just like duped into thinking they're getting this amazing trip when they're being supervised every step of the way by Ben Sinclair, who plays Craig, who's like the leader of that. And so they're doing this, and the owner of the restaurant chain ends up showing up. Nick, played by Alessandro Nivola, and his assistant, played by Aubrey Plaza. And he shows up, and he really starts taking an interest into Alison Brie's character. And Aubrey Plaza starts talking to Alison Brie's character. They start hitting it off a little bit, and she wants to take her out, wanting to go to this bar together. Everybody overhears about it, so they go together. And then one day, Aubrey Plaza's like, hey, I'm going to come pick you up. We're going to go out together. And she takes her out, and she thinks that the two of them are going out together when she ends up dropping her off at Nick, the owner's boat. And he starts to take an interest in Alison Brie. She starts to fall for him. And then you realize that not everything that's on the surface is exactly what it is. And this movie turns into this weird, insane third act blow up twist that I never would have expected. And it's just a really fun movie. It's incredibly hilarious. It's very dry humor. And I think one of the reasons why this resonated with me is I've worked for big businesses my entire career. I've gone away on a lot of like conferences and had to do a lot of these meetups. And I've seen people act the way that these people act at these business conferences. And it was just really funny to me to watch this play out on screen. And I think all of these actors are incredibly talented. There's a scene where Tim like wants to cook for everyone, and it reminded me of like that Tim Kitchens Tips YouTube thing that he did for a while that was absolutely hilarious. He's so deadpan in his delivery. He's fantastic. Zach Woods is amazing in this. He just cracks me up as like this guy who's just obsessed with this company for some reason. And Alison Brie does an amazing job. I think her chemistry with Aubrey Plaza's character is fantastic. Aubrey Plaza is one of my favorite actresses in Hollywood. I think she's incredibly versatile, and she always does an amazing job, and she's great in this movie when she's utilized. If I have one qualm with this film that's a big one. It's that her character kind of disappears in the middle of the film for no apparent reason, and it just kind of took me out of it a little bit because of how pivotal her character is to the progression of the story, and so that let me down a little bit. And obviously the pacing's not great. I think that the third act of the movie, while it's ridiculous, it doesn't all work. And that's my biggest problem with the movie, is I feel like the third act part of the script could have been tightened up a little bit. But I still enjoyed myself for the entire runtime of this movie. It was so much fun. It was hilarious. It turned into something completely different at the end. And I think that if you're looking for something to stream on VOD that'll just make you laugh, Spin Me Round is definitely worth checking out. So have you seen Spin Me Round? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was an absolute blast. It was silly, it was fun, and I really enjoyed it. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.